So we just completed our visit to the Plymouth County Correctional Facilities, where there is ICE has a presence, and where they detain people that they apprehend. Let me say at the beginning, we've toured a number of ICE facilities before with some horrific, horrible conditions. I'm happy to report that the conditions in this facility are not like that. So that's on the good news side. We were able to talk to 3 people who are being detained, 2 from Ecuador and 1 from Honduras. And again, we leave heartbroken that there are people who are being held basically in jail for really committing no crimes. 2 of the people that we talked to were picked up on their way to a construction site. Again, they're working, they're not breaking any laws, they don't have any previous criminal records, and they are picked up and they are here. And I think they're scared. They have families. They have families who rely on them. They have members of the community who care deeply about them. They do not belong here. And, you know, at a time when everybody's talking about how you cut costs in Washington, how much does it cost to house a detainee here? I mean, this is like a waste of money, and it is cruel, and it's just wrong. Again, to the people who work at this facility, who are not part of the ICE team, they have maintained a very, you know, a very clean facility compared to other things we've seen. But our whole ICE policy is just wrong, and we're going to continue to show up unannounced at various facilities all across New England. I mean, to see whether the facilities are state-of-the-art or clean, whether they have access to showers and medical attention, whether they're getting treated well, and we're going to hear the stories, and we're going to elevate the stories. Contrary to what you're hearing is that the people we met with don't fall into the category of the people that Donald Trump and people at ICE described. These aren't dangerous people. These are good human beings with families, and it's shameful that they're here.
Yeah, I do want to just to emphasize what Jim's talking about. So inside this facility, these detainees are not in ICE custody. They're in Plymouth County Corrections Institute custody. That's what is attributable to the level of care that they're receiving. So I give ICE no credit on this. They just deliver them to Plymouth County Corrections, and that's where the care starts. So they have access to medical care, you know, food, recreation, access to their families. They're all given tablets where they can communicate with their families, with their attorneys, and as Jim and Ayanna and myself, we've been to other facilities that this is not the case. Those are ICE facilities. The vast majority of the people who are being held here are what the corrections department considers very, very, very low risk. They're not dangerous people. They're not being held for any crimes. They're not being held for any offenses. They have no criminal record, but they are being detained. And so we were insisting upon talking to the detainees. We did speak to, we were able to get access to 3 detainees. One of them was a police officer in Ecuador. 2 of them were construction workers. They had, as Jim mentioned, they were picked up on their way to work. They have Social Security numbers. They have
work permits.
They have work permits. So this is not what has been said. These are not the worst of the worst. These are people who are, you know, trying to do the right thing. Many of them have open immigration cases where they were trying to come in the right way, and yet because of the change in policy from the White House, because of Trump, now they've become targets, and you know, they're subject to, you know, these cars just pulling up and bundling everybody in, and all of a sudden they find themselves in a situation like this. So meanwhile, they've got family that and children that are also in the immigration process as well. Some of those have asylum already, but these individuals being prosecuted nonetheless. So turn it over to Ayanna.
Well, and let me just, I know technically they're characterized as detainees, but just to center their humanity, today we met with Jose, we met with Alexis, we met with Darwin. These are sons, these are fathers, these are husbands, men who are loved by their families, whose labor is valued and essential to the functioning of our communities and our economies. They are sorely missed by their families, and they desperately miss their families. Jose, for example, 30 years old, has a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. He's never met his 2-year-old daughter, Ariella. And as Jim mentioned, he was a police officer in Ecuador, and in his time spent here, he has worked in construction. We met with Darwin and Alexis, and both talked about how they miss working, and they're eager to get back to work. They find dignity in their work. They take pride in their work. They take pride in the role that they play, many of them as the sole breadwinners in their families. Not only their families here, but money that they are sending back to countries like Ecuador, Honduras. I asked about where are most of the detainees from, and the countries were Guatemala, El Salvador, Ecuador, and Honduras, with some rare exceptions. But what is very clear is that this is a waste of money and a waste of time. And for what? We have separated families, we are causing trauma, and we have people that are providing valuable contributions to community, of which we are all being denied. So it is a tremendous injustice to these families and a great disservice to our communities writ large. One of the men that we met with, Darwin, this is his fiance, Angelina, and I'm going to turn things over to her in a moment. But I want to say two things. I've said repeatedly that our strategy as a Democratic caucus is litigation, legislation, agitation when necessary, and mobilization. The reason we could do this unannounced visit today is because of litigation initiated by our task force, and because that the court sided with Joe Neguse, Congressman Neguse, and the rest of us who signed on to that, that is why we could do this today. So although the work of litigation can move more slowly than we would like, that is why we could do this unannounced visit today. Secondly, I reinforced for Jose, Alexis, and Darwin that there are people who've never met them, who care about them and are fighting for their freedom. And they all expressed the relief that they felt in knowing that they had not been forgotten. And so in that aim, I also want to acknowledge that since two of the gentlemen here who were arrested and detained were picked up in Vermont. And so we made sure they knew that Senator Welch and Senator Sanders, that we were here,
Right.
In their stead. And again, that there are people working vigorously on their behalf. And so now I'll turn it over to Angelina to tell more of Darwin's story.
So my name is Angelina Martins, and I'm the fiance of Darwin Cruz. He's from Honduras. He came here when he was 14 years old. He's almost 50. He has no criminal record. He's always worked. He's very well known in the community. Everybody knows him. Just a wonderful individual. We've been together for about 10 years. So it's very sad to see this, somebody who just wants to work and wants to contribute to society, a family man, to be detained, in these conditions is very sad. He's been here for about a month and a half. But I am very grateful for the opportunity to be here, and I don't stand here just for Darwin. I believe we all stand here for all of the detainees and for their family. And we're wishing everybody the best. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing Darwin released, hopefully as soon as possible. And thank you very much, guys, for all the help.
Okay.
Thank
So-
you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the press?
Let me just close by saying that I think we all have to ask ourselves the question: what kind of country do we want to be? Do we want to be a country that has lost its humanity, that is behaving, quite frankly, like we are right now, with ICE again arresting people who have no business being in jail? ICE that is terrorizing our communities. People are having conversations with their kids about what to do if they're questioned by ICE. American citizens have been killed. But to visit this facility and to talk to people whose crime was going to work to support their families and their kids, it just doesn't seem right, no matter how you look at it. So, we're going to continue to show up all across New England at these facilities, and we're going to continue to talk to people and to elevate their stories. And we hope that Darwin will be released soon. He's gone through an awful lot, and our hearts are with you. But we got to wake up. We got to do better. And again, I hope, depending on what happens in November, we will have additional power to change our current horrific, unconscionable policy when it comes to people who are of so much value to our community. So anyway, thank you.